Bob Phillips here once again with the AVR Arts Review, and today I happen to be sitting here with an extraordinary artist, Jane Ash Poitras. How are you today, Jane?
Really good.
Well, you should be good because, first of all, I see all kinds of incredible work around me here, but also it seems to me that the Royal Ontario Museum is about ready to put on an exhibition of some of your work that they actually acquired. Is that correct?
Yeah, they bought some very big pieces, and the opening was this morning, and my daughter went over, and she said that it's just people lined up to get in.
Oh,
and they're she says, just packed. So it's pretty exciting. Last week we were there doing programming with them, and it was a pretty beautiful show. I'd advise everyone to go, if they get a chance to be in Toronto, to check it out. It's in a First Nations gallery. It's pretty hot.
That First Nations gallery, I think very highly of that because, you know, there are an awful lot of old artifacts under glass in that gallery. And your work and the work of some other contemporary people sort of set that off to change the impression that is left. Would you agree with that, or?
Well, because I'm purchased by a museum and not the National Gallery of Canada, I guess I am artifact now too.
Oh, well, you're a delightful artifact, and one that I think very highly of, because your work is extraordinarily contemporary. Why don't we talk about buffalo seed to start with?
Okay, that's a good one to talk about. It's a pretty major piece, and what happened was I went back to university, and I went into the Faculty of Medicine and Science and took ethnobotany courses. And so because I was raised as a traditionalist and spent a lot of time with traditional elders, I knew all the traditional plants and all this stuff and did ceremonies, but then I thought I should find the empirical value. And so I went back to university and learned the more scientific side of it. And so then all of a sudden I kind of placed the traditional with the Western with the traditional. And with buffalo seed, what I found out was that I knew sunflowers are indigenous to North America. A lot of people don't realize that, but they are. And the native people, they followed the buffalo, and they saw the buffalo, how the buffalo treated the sunflowers, and they would pick them up and throw them over their back, and the seeds would drop, and the birds would come and pick out the ticks and the seeds, and the buffaloes like that. And then the rest of the sunflowers, they would eat the petals and the stalks and everything the roots and all. And so every part of the sunflower is medicinal. So what happened was that the native people, by observing wildlife and animals, and this has been going on since time immemorial, that they learned how to make the medicines also and use it for medicinal purposes. And that's where they were basically the first pharmacologists of the world.
You know, that's something that, like that depth of knowledge that Native people have held forever, is something that it's surprising that Western Europeans, when they arrived here, really didn't catch on to that. You have another piece that I believe deals with the effects of residential school. Is that correct?
Well, that one's called Potato Peeling 101 to Ethnobotany 101. And the idea there is that one panel shows the children in residential school. And one of the main pictures in it is residential school children learning how to peel potatoes. So the thing is, that's what their ideology was, oh, wow, we're going to teach them how to peel potatoes. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, we come from a rich resource of pharmacological herb medical knowledge, and they never bothered asking us that. And so they just took it upon themselves to believe that we were kind of stupid and ignorant, but actually we were smarter.
You see, that's one of the reasons why I'm so pleased with you and your work, because if anyone happened to check out your academic achievements, it seems to me that, among other things, you also hold a Master of Fine Art, M.F.A. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do have an M.F.A. from Columbia in New York.
You see what I mean? It's very hard for anybody in the dominant society to beat that. That's extraordinary qualifications for the beautiful, beautiful work that you do. And yet there are so many people out there that I don't think they realize that many, many Native people have become very, very highly educated.
Well, I expect all Native people to do the same because we're the smartest people on the earth.
You're right about that. Well, there was another piece that was chosen. That was the extinctions, I believe.
Oh, extermination.
Extermination.
Right, where it talks about the fact of, shows pictures of buffalo skulls being piled up in Saskatchewan. It shows the Inuit skulls, and it shows the Rwanda skulls, and then on the bottom it shows early drawing by an Arapaho boy with buffaloes. What do you call when they bang their horns together?
Oh yes, budding.
Yeah, budding to get a girlfriend, and it was the last known drawing by an Arapaho boy, because nowadays you would probably never see that. So it was really a historical piece, and so we called it extermination, because of the idea that the buffalo almost got wiped out, and right now we're wiping out many things. So that we should really be, really, we're all precious, and we should really be careful about that, because first thing you know, we're going to be extinct.
Well, as a matter of fact, they tried to wipe us out.
Oh yeah, manifest destiny.
Exactly.
Right.
And yet they didn't succeed, and we're coming back even stronger than ever.
That's right. We make the mice look like the rabbits look like amateurs.
Now, there was another piece in there, and that is, it's good for your heart. How did that come about?
Well, that's basically about foxglove, and foxglove was discovered by Witherington, and it's grown in Canada. They have big, huge farms of it, and it's 65% of the world's population relies on foxglove, and that's the generic name. The empirical name is Digitalis purpurea, and it's basically very, very important medicine, and people grow it in their yard all the time and don't realize what a powerful medicinal plant it is. Hummingbirds use it. That's why, that's how they observed that it might have something to do with the heart, because the way hummingbirds flutter. Right, and so they eat the nectar, and that gives them the power to fly that they can. And so once the people looked at it and perfected it, now it's very powerful medicine for 65% of the world's population. Keeps them alive. And you would never pick a leaf in your backyard and eat it, because in 30 minutes from there you'd be dead. You'd write your own epitaph. That's how powerful these plants are. So a lot of these plants are medicinal, but you have to really respect them. You just go around and pick them and think, oh, I'm going to taste this one, taste that one, because some of them can really be deadly.
That kind of knowledge, I have been on walks with one of our elders here, Joseph Paquette, looking at plants, and every so often he says, oh, no, if you eat that, you're dead. But this you can.
Yeah, right. Like you can have, there's a red top mushroom called Amanita muscarera, right? It grows all over in Ontario in the boreal forest, and it's a very powerful mushroom, and it's used in the Medewan societies. And it's basically a psychotropic medicine, right? So it gives you visions, but you have to know how to use it, and the shamans and the priests and the leaders know how to use it. So you have to really listen to your elders and not just assume that, oh yeah, I'm going to try this out, because you might be seeing all your ancestors in heaven 30 minutes later.
You had choices. You could have taken all kinds of different paths, and yet a great deal of your work deals with very important issues that affect our people. Do you mind if I ask how that came about?
Well, the thing is that I think I'm a generalist. I have a degree in microbiologist and worked years as a microbiologist. I have, worked in many other fields, okay? And I've studied, for years. I studied law, I studied religion, I've partaked in many ceremonies, and so I just came back from Japan and did a whole series with the Zen monks, esoteric monks, Buddhist monks. So that was, that was really a good opening. And so I've really been curious about, the amalgamations of science with religion, with art, with everything. So it's just being, you know, having a curious mind. So obviously the pedagogical side of the work would come out.
Well, as it happens, Jane, one of the things that I've noticed is that a great number of contemporary Native artists seem to be actually very highly trained or very highly educated. You yourself have spent a good deal of time in the academic community. Can you tell me, and perhaps some of the young people that are out there, any of the benefits that might have come to you from that kind of training?
Well, today in the art world, they actually, if you're self-trained, they don't really take you serious. The degrees pay for themselves. That's why you go to university, and that's why you pay all the tuition money and you study hard, because that puts you ahead of the cream of the crop. Like one of my Dr. Paquette, he was saying to me when I was in microbiology, he said, like, 10% of the world get through first year, and then 5% get through second year. But he said, if you go like all the way to a master's or a PhD, you're in like 0.00001% of the world, and the world knows that, and that's where you get ahead in life. So if you want to be just one of the many, right, a flock, or if you want to be the leader, the eagle that leads, then it depends on what you want to do. So the best thing is go out and get an education and try to get as high as you can, because when you do, then you'll have an easy life. It's a nice life, being an academic and knowing all this stuff. And then if you have the experience and things like that, then the rewards come around for you, and you have a lot of fun, and people love you, and you get to get limousine service and first-class hotels, and you get to go to the Brom and have people, you know, pat you on the back, and you get taken out for lunch all the time, and you get tasked to do lectures, and you get nice honorariums, and you get a real sweet life.
Which is, of course, what all of us want. But especially young Native people, sometimes they look at the success of, let's say, Norval Morrisseau and feel that they don't really need to be trained. On the other hand, if you look at Norval Morrisseau, he was trained as a shaman in ways that most of the dominant society would not recognize. So your advice to young people to go out there and get trained is just absolutely extraordinary. On the other hand, you yourself happen to be, because it's coming up on time at the end of the program here, I have to thank you, but also tell you that for all of the people out there, you happen to be very good for our hearts, and thank you very, very much.
Arigato. Konnichiwa.
Oh, Japanese. Very good. Okay, arigato. Thank you.